Well, a very good morning to everyone. My name is Falgun, and this is a session about the part two of the life processes. As if you haven't seen the part one of life processes, I must suggest you just go and check it out first, and just see the video and come back soon. Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about nutrition. Okay, as I have said in previous video that I'll be talking about nutrition, so by keeping that in mind, so today in this video we'll be talking about nutrition. Okay, so well before starting that, I want to start this topic with an introduction. Okay, so see, I want to say you something, guys. Well, for maintaining this body, we need some maintaining process. Okay, we our body actually have some maintaining processes. Okay, so to maintain this body, as I have said, we need maintaining process. Okay, for that we need energy. Okay, so that energy that is coming from outside environment into our body. Okay, any doubt here? I hope you understood. So once again I'm repeating, the energy is coming outside, from the outside into the body. Okay, so why we need energy? Energy is required to maintain the body. Clear, I hope. Okay, so we're taking the materials, what we are doing, we're taking the materials outside of our environment or from the environment into our body. Okay, why we're taking materials into our body? Because to provide energy to our body, right? So that materials are called as an food. Okay, so the materials are called as an food. You understood? So that the materials that we are taking from the outside environment into our body to provide energy to ourselves, that is called food. Understood? So the process of taking that food into our body is called as a nutrition. I hope you got it. You got these 2 points. Yes, I hope you are doing great. Okay, well see, why we need this kind of processes, why we need energy and everything, why we actually need, we need to maintain the state of order of our body, to maintain the state of order. So it doesn't matter if you're working, it doesn't matter if you're sitting still not doing anything. Okay, it doesn't matter, but still we need energy to maintain our state of order. You understand what I mean to say? See, if you're doing any work, okay, we can understand that you are doing work, so we need we need energy in that case. Okay, what if we don't do any kind of work? What if we sit idle, right? So that question is quite fascinating, right? Even though we sit idle, even in that case we need energy. Why? Well, in that case I want to explain you guys why. For that question, for that why question, I want to give answer. Well, we are having respiration process in our body, right? We are having circulation, I mean to say blood circulation, or in better way I want to say here, transportation process. Okay, excretion process. This all process for as you know, even though we sit idle, these processes are controlled subconsciously, right? So this all process require energy, so that is the reason why we need energy. Okay, so I hope you understood up to this. So as you can see in the board, right, so the question is, how do living organisms get food? So right now only we have discussed that living organisms get food from the environment, right? So the question for answer is from the environment, right? But we have to discuss something deeply, some this topic pretty deeply, right? So for that I want to say you here, the requirement of any sort of energy or materials for the organism, okay, is common, right? even that is a plant or for animals, that is common, right? Requirement of energy is common for the all living organisms. That is, there we have no doubt at all, right? So now what I mean to say here is, as that is fulfilled in different ways. Once again, let us talk about this once again. Okay, what I mean to say here is, a requirement of energy is common for all the living organisms, right? But some organisms take that energy in different way, some take in different way, right? So pretty much difference is there. Like, I will give an example to make you clear in this. So we humans take the food in a different way. Our nutritional types is different than the plants, right? So by keeping that example as a priority, I'll discuss about it. Okay, so what autotrophs does? Okay, they take carbon dioxide and water from environment, right? So these are the simple inorganic substances, right? These are the simple inorganic substances. So plants basically take simple inorganic substances to make their own food. I hope there is no such doubt in this, right? As I have just cleared you very cleanly, and I hope there is no doubt in this, right? So autotrophs are the example of the, so once again, autotrophs take the carbon dioxide and water. So this carbon dioxide and water are considered as the simple inorganic substance that is present in the environment. Okay, so from this they make their own food. Okay, so example of this autotrophs, if I'll give, then I can give here blue green algae or algae. In some people say algae, or some people say algae. Okay, anything you can refer to, doesn't matter. Well understood. While in the case of heterotroph, what does it happen in the case of heterotroph? Make sure you have noted this out. Okay, so say me, what in the case of heterotroph? Well, heterotrophs, okay, are another type of organism which take the nutrition, or which take food from the environment in a different way than as an autotroph. Okay, so heterotroph basically they consume complex, or they intake complex form of substances. Okay, they intake complex form of substances. Once they intake this complex form of substances, they break down into simpler form. What they do? Simpler form. They break down this complex form of food into simpler form by the help of catalytic enzymes. We know that these enzymes are responsible for breaking down the complex food into simple food or simple form, right? So we know about this, right? So let me erase this. Make sure you note this. So now we can say that heterotrophs directly or indirectly depends on autotrophs. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes, I hope it is clear, right? So This was a proper explanation of this question. Understood? Yeah, once again I'm asking, understood? If you have any sort of doubt up to this, you can ask me on comments, so I'll definitely help you out in that. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the types of nutrition. Well, you need to understand something here. Well, there are two types of nutrition. One is autotropic, one is heterotopic mode of nutrition or heterotopic nutrition. Okay, autotropic nutrition, heterotopic nutrition. Well, in this particular video, I'll be discussing you about autotropic mode of nutrition itself, and with pure details. Okay, I'll be discussing about autotropic mode of nutrition. As heterotopic mode of nutrition, so in that nutritions there is some important topics that to be discussed, that is human nutrition and everything is there, amoeba nutrition in amoeba and human nutrition is there. So I felt that these topics will be very important for the students, for you guys, and I have a plan to make this these topics to in a different video. So that video will be coming up next to it. Okay, next to this video you will be getting the topics coming under this heterotopic mode of nutrition. I hope you understood, right? I hope you understood. So let us discuss about autotropic mode of nutrition in detail. Okay, well, now we'll be understanding what is autotropic nutrition and what is heterotopic nutrition. Okay, so autotropic nutrition, it is a type of nutrition. So autotropic, just make sure you take notes while watching this video. Okay, that will be very much helpful, believe me. Okay, so make sure you're taking notes. Okay, and okay, coming back to the topic, so what is heterotopic mode of nutrition? Heterotopic mode of nutrition, in this organism, in this type of nutrition, organisms make their own food with the help of simpler compounds from the environment. Okay, they take simpler compounds from the environment to make their own food. Okay, so what are the simpler compounds? That may be carbon dioxide, that may be water, that may be sunlight and other compounds. Okay, these are the compounds that is taken by the autotrophs. You know what is autotrophs? Those organisms which are coming under autotropic mode of nutrition, that is or those organisms which having the autotropic mode of nutrition, those organisms are considered as autotrophs. Okay, I hope you are not getting any sort of confusion in that. Okay, so coming back, so these organisms take the carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and other compounds to make their own food. Okay, so examples are autotrophs. Trophs like green plants, etc. Okay, so now coming to the heterotopic mode of nutrition. So what is heterotopic mode of nutrition? Heterotopic mode of nutrition is a type of nutrition in which animals directly or indirectly depends upon heterotrophs. More precisely, I would say here, that is green plants. Okay, so animals are sorry, here I made a mistake, sorry for that. So animals directly or indirectly depends upon autotrophs. Okay, so this is about heterotopic mode of nutrition. Okay, now we are going to discuss deeply about autotropic mode of nutrition. As I've said, heterotopic mode of nutrition will be discussed in coming up video. Make sure you check out that also. Okay, so autotropic mode of nutrition, in which what happens, organisms take, as I have said, that is what I'm quoting again, but in a detailed manner. Okay, let me say you about this. So organisms take CO2. Okay, organisms take CO2 and water. Organisms take CO2 and water from the environment. Okay, and they convert these two compounds into glucose. Okay, they convert carbon dioxide and H2O into glucose with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight. Okay, so now up to this clear? I hope you got it right. Once again I'll repeat it. Okay, so autotropic mode of nutrition existing animals, or I would say here autotrophs, take carbon dioxide and water from the environment and convert it into glucose with the help of chlorophyll and sunlight. Okay, so now this glucose is used as an energy for survival of plants. Okay, this glucose is used as an energy for the plants. Okay, so see, the required energy is used as a plant. Okay, so all the food, all the quantity of the food is not used as an energy, while some quantity is stored inside the plant in the form of starch. Okay, some energy or some glucose is stored in the form of starch in the case of plants, glycogen in the case of animals. Okay, I hope you understood, right? So this was all about the autotropic mode of nutrition. Okay, in reaction form. Okay, so I can get an equation from that, like 6 molecules of CO2 when reacts with 6 molecules of H2O in the presence of sunlight, and chlorophyll, we get C6H12O6 plus you can say here O2. O2 is in 6 molecules of O2 will get here. So 6 molecules of CO2 plus 6 molecules of H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, we get C6H12O6. that is, simply we can say it as glucose and byproduct oxygen. Okay, so this is the reaction of the photosynthesis. I hope you got this. Right? Okay, now we'll be discussing about the steps of photosynthesis. Okay, so the first step is absorption of the light energy by chlorophyll. So in that manner, I would like to say you guys that the main purpose of the presence of chlorophyll in the green plant is to absorb the sunlight. Okay, this light energy is nothing but that is the sunlight. Okay, so chlorophyll helps to absorb the sunlight. Okay, so now that light energy is converted into chemical energy. Okay, that light energy is converted into chemical energy. Okay, so that is the next point. Okay, this completes second point. This brings me to the third point. The third point this is actually the third point, but more precisely if we'll see, then this is the third point. Okay, so in the third point, what happens, H2O is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen. Basically splitting occurs in this case. Okay, So finally what happens? Reduction of a carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is reduced into the carbohydrate. So many of you might be having a doubt or having a confusion over here. So what is carbohydrate now in this case? Okay, so let me say you, carbohydrate is nothing but that is a glucose. Okay, carbohydrate is nothing but that is a glucose. Okay, so the glucose, understood, right? So reduction of a carbon dioxide into the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is nothing but a glucose. Okay, so now I want to give you an example. Okay, before giving that example, I want to say you something like this process there is in this okay, once again I'll say you, in this process, okay, in these steps, I would say in most more better way, in these steps there is no mandatory that these steps should be continued as fast as possible or should be complete as fast as possible without delay in between the steps. Okay, so there is no such mandatory. Okay, so to explain that in more better way or to present that in more better way to you guys, so I have an example in as it has written here, that is desert plants. So once I clear this example to you guys, then you gonna understand what I'm going to say. Okay, okay, in this desert plant, basically before starting that, we know that there in the chemical reaction, we know that there is always a reactant, right? Reactant is converted into product. Okay, so in between reactant and product, there will be always in middle there will be always one intermediate. What is that? That is intermediate. Okay, I hope you got it right. Intermediate is a step or it is a step in between the reactant and product. Okay, in between that there is a step, that is intermediate. Understood? Okay, by keeping that in the mind, we'll discuss about the case of desert plants. Okay, desert plants takes carbon dioxide at night. At night, desert plant takes carbon dioxide. Okay, and makes an intermediate. Okay, so intermediate is made during the night itself. Okay, intermediate, understood what is the meaning of intermediate? Intermediate is a step in between reactant and product, that is a step in between, right? So it makes the step, okay, one step of reaction will be done in the night itself. Okay, so this reactant completes at the morning. This reaction completes in the morning as it absorbs sunlight, right? As it absorbs sunlight in the morning, once it absorbs, the desert plants once absorb the sunlight, it just proceed the reaction from the intermediate, and finally it produces product. That product is glucose. Okay, I hope you understood this. Once again, I'll explain this to you. So desert plants takes up the carbon dioxide in night itself and forms an intermediate stage. Okay, and forms an intermediate form of the reaction, okay, of the reactants, maybe in more precise way, intermediate form. Okay, once the sun gets up, it absorbs all the light. Okay, then the intermediate is converted into products, final product. The product is glucose, as I have discussed with you. Okay, so this was all about the process or steps of an photosynthesis. Okay, so now we'll be talking about stomata, some structure or some functions about the stomata. Okay, before I start about stomata, I just forgot about something which is very important. Okay, let me clear that and I'll move to stomata. Okay, so if we'll just dissect the plant or a leaf, okay, we'll find that there is a green dots, okay, in the structure, whole structure. There will be green dots that will be present below the epidermis. That is nothing but that is an chloroplast, okay. So chloroplast is a organelle, cell organelle, which contains chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment, right? So let me take, in some case you don't know this division of plastids, okay, let me clear you in this, okay. So plastids are divided into two types, okay, chromoplast and leucoplast. Chromo means color, leuco means colorless, okay, and chromoplast is again divided into two types, okay, chloroplast and other pigments. Chloroplast, as I have discussed, chloroplast is a cell organelle which contains chlorophyll, okay. This is a green pigment, this is a green pigment. In this division, other pigments, we have other than green pigments, okay, we have carotenoids or keratins or xanthophylls, these kind of pigments that comes under other pigments. These kind of pigments just emits yellow, red, etc., many more colors, okay. So this was about the chromoplast. So coming back to leucoplast, leucoplast is nothing but it is a colorless pigment, okay. So it is again divided into three types: amyloplast, elaioplast and proteinoplast. So amyloplast and elaioplast are responsible for storing of a starch and fats, okay. So now coming back to the proteinoplast. So proteinoplast is responsible for the storage of the protein. So this was the division of a plastids. So as we have discussed, as we have covered the division of a plastids, so now one and only important topic is present for you guys. So that is about discussing about the stomata. So now I'll be discussing about the stomata. So in the stomata, what we can see there, stomata contains guard cells and stomatal pores. As within a second there will be a picture popping out right now, okay. So you can observe there is a presence of two guard cells, okay. So in between there is a stomatal pore, okay. You can also see there is in the guard cells there is a presence of some kind of dots, okay. So the dots is nothing but that is an chloroplast, okay. So chloroplast contains chlorophyll, okay. So this was the structure, outer appearance of a or a morphology of a stomata. So now we'll be discussing about the function. Well, the major function of a stomata is exchange of a gases. Well, exchange of a gases occurs through the stomatal pore, okay. Exchange of a CO2, O2 occurs through the stomatal pore, okay. Apart from that, whenever water flows nearby the guard cells gets swollen up, right. The guard cell swells up. As a result, it opens the stomatal pore. Once the stomatal pore is opened, the outer water, there is a water outside of a stomata that will be entering inside the stomata, and it will be entering into the leaf, okay. So whenever there is a absence of water, then as the guard cells don't have any sort of water in them, as a result they shrinks. So the shrinking nature of a guard cells allows the stomatal pore to close, okay. No exchange of gases or no exchange of water occurs at that particular time, So that was all about stomata. I hope you understood about stomata. I hope you understood all the topics that I have covered in this video, and coming up video will be most interesting topic. There will be most interesting topic in that coming up video, and stay tuned for that. So I'll give a small recap about what I'm going to discuss tomorrow itself. So that is we'll be discussing about nutrition in human beings. That is, we'll be discussing on a whole, if I'll say, we'll be discussing nutrition in heterotrophs, okay, or heterotopic mode of nutrition. So that is very important topic. To be honest, that is very important topic and very interesting topic. So here I want to say, if you really enjoyed this video, then please do subscribe and hit that like button. And if you have any kind of doubts to be asked, so please you can ask in the comment section down below, so that I'll be checking out, and I'll be I'll try to answer each and every question you will be asking to me. So with that said, we'll conclude this video, and thank you for watching, and thank you for giving your time, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.